Summary. You/Batman had to check out a crime scene where 2 assassins were killed. Further investigation shows that they killed each other, and one got away, leaving a trail of blood. After following a trail and a beating later, it ends in Elliott Memorial Hospital. After another beatdown and a few puzzles later, we find out that Ra's al Ghul is dying. The assassin lady tells us that we can save him finding a newer, purer source of the Lazarus Pit. That's already been located. We had to find the source after hitting a invisible wall a few times. We find it, we fight, then once Batman gets a sample, the leader jumps down. We find out that the leader of the rebellion is Nyssa. Dun 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 dun. She destroys it, but she offers Batman the choice not to give the Lazarus juice because it will help everyone, saying she'll leave Gotham and never return. After a few puzzles, because the side quest is really trying to drag this out, you're left with a choice. Don't give Ra's al Ghul the G Fuel or not. If you do, the rebels show up fighting along with Nyssa. Because Ra's is feeling better, he kills Nyssa. If you don't, Ra's assassins attack you. Nyssa leaves Gotham like she promised, and Ra's is taken to GCPD. But you hear one thing that haunts you. Ra's says, "Proud of you." And just like that, the side quest is over. Alright, time for story. Story. Nyssa. So how is the story? Well, I guess it's fine. I mean, most of the story is based on the choice at the end. Before I get to that, I must address Nyssa. Nyssa, where was she during the events of Arkham City? And no, this doesn't cross Rule 2 because race relates to city. Anyway, as I recall, the League was very much the center point of the plot of the last game, or at least most of it. So where was she? This was a very key point in time for the League, and you're just not there? What? See, this is my problem with Arkham Knight plot-wise, is that they introduce things and people at the last second that were never mentioned before. Because of this, these new reveals don't make much sense, due to them not being here, mentioned during the key points when they should have been there. Choices. Again, it's fine, I guess. And when it comes down to believability that Batman would be faced with, and it makes sense that Batman wouldn't want to save him, considering this is Ra's al Ghul we're talking about here, instead of some random criminal. We've seen what he's capable of, like in Arkham City, so this is a reasonable choice in terms of character. But in terms of a logical choice, separate from the character you're playing as, it's pretty simple. On one hand, the League is back to normal killing and taking over, while a terrorist at best and a mass murderer at worst is in charge of the only person that could have stopped this is dead, or you kill a man that could have been killed a long time ago with a leader that promises to leave Gotham forever. I mean, which one sounds better? And that's my problem with this choice. It's too easy. Anyone with half of a brain is going to kill Ra's. There is just too much in favor of this choice. Near all the choices are like this are in the game, but that's for another time. Point being, this is an extremely low effort choice. And the funny thing is that there are only 2 times in the whole game where you're forced to choose a dilemma, and they're not even that hard. So to recap, while this choice makes sense from a character perspective, in terms of a choice itself, it isn't very good. One choice just completely dominates the other, making it barely a choice in the first place. Gameplay. New enemy type. The new design and moves are nice, I just wish we had this in the first place. Hey, why didn't we have this in the first place? Did someone just come up with this now? And if so, why isn't this in the main game or not added to challenge maps? Whatever. Puzzles. The puzzles are kind of not good. Wow, throw your batarang here to do the elevator with the thing. Wow, you hit the button in the correct order. Wow. Okay, let's face it, it's filler. It's only there to stop the progress of the mission. Personally, I don't mind this in the main mission because they're rare and they come in small pieces of the overall mission. But here, that isn't the case. You only get 2 mandatory fighting sections in the whole mission, and far more than 2 puzzles. In what universe am I living in where the puzzles outnumber the combat sections? Maybe in a Riddler side quest. Overall, I think it brings down this mission as a whole. Not only does this grind the mission to a halt and drags it down, it reflects badly on the mission overall. detective stuff. I put detective stuff as a section, but surprisingly there's little of it. Wow, follow the trail. What an exciting concept, never done before. How to make it better. Story. This story can easily be fixed with one phrase. More time. More time for Nissa. We barely know her and you're supposed to trust her? Excuse me? And while we're at it, why are these two fighting anyways? Other than just like not liking Raish gameplay. So most of the gameplay is alright, but I definitely think it needs some fixing up. First up, the new enemy type. While I do think it's okay, I think it needs to be added in challenge maps. It's not really about the side mission, but I wanted to mention that anyway. Second, get rid of the puzzles. If you want filler, then find a better way of doing it. Examples, have waves of enemies as their defense system, or have their fractions fight in action. That would be cool to see. Third, make the detective stuff better than just following a line. Conclusion. Sure, there are good parts, like the new enemy type and the story between factions, but it's the execution that's the mess. I like the idea of a fraction war. I like the idea of Nissa. I like the idea of puzzles. I like the idea of a moral choice for Batman, but it's in the execution that is the true problem. Example, the fraction war is a problem because it isn't built upon or adds anything to the story in a meaningful way. Example, Nissa is a problem because we barely know her unless you're a big comic fan. Example, the puzzles are a problem because they're so damn simple and filler. Example, the moral choice is a problem because one side is way more valued than the other. See, the idea is good, but it's the idea put into action that's the problem. And because of that, it creates a below average experience. 4 out of 10. Subpar. You know, there's two different fucks, you know? Like, you have a fuck, and you just kind of have a fuck. You know? We had to find the source after hitting a invisible wall a few times. What? Oh my god. Wow. That's a nice penis you have there. I'll give it a nice 8 out of 10. Good job, kid. Batman, the choice to not give the Lazarus to... Fucking hell. Why is it so hard for me? I fucking hate living. She destroys it, but she offers Batman the choice to not give the Lazarus. Ah! Okay. It's gonna be one of those days. Saying that she'll... Fucking... This is fucking impossible. Trying to. Okay. Fuck me. English. Wow, there's gonna be so many fucking bloopers in this. I'm gonna fuck with my life. Ooh. I'm gonna fuck with my life. If you don't destroy the machine, Raish attacks you. If you don't destroy the machine, yeah, that wasn't the perfect take, but I don't care, dude. Oh my god, I smashed my camera down. I don't know why I got so upset. Oh, fuck me. Well, I did it eventually. Subpar. Oh my god, that was probably one of the hardest sections I've ever done.